Welcome to the final stage where we're flying in our jetpack to Red Skull's secret base. Unlike the last two levels, this one does have health pickups, but it only has 3 of them. And they're all in a row at the very end of this shooting segment. This shooting segment is exactly as easy as the last two, maybe slightly more difficult toward the end, and it makes the stage a lot longer than it really is. We're about to come across another enemy ship, which apparently these work just as well in space as they do in gravity. Just as before, there is a sweet spot we can sit in right here where nothing it shoots will be able to attack us. Not the blue guys coming out of the bottom, not the yellow laser, and not the missiles coming out of the top. The music in this level is just a little bit hyper, just a little bit. The Super Nintendo version of this game, in addition to being more difficult in general, also made these sections a lot more difficult, I would say for the worse. I mean, they're a cute idea, but they're not necessary and they kinda muck with the game's pacing a little. So at least the Genesis version makes them inoffensive. Oh, and we unfortunately don't get to fight a mini-boss at the end of this one, but this level has plenty of mini-bosses in it anyway, so don't worry about that. We've got Wasp with us again, which makes the final stretch of this level a lot easier. I think it's kind of humorous that in this game, Wasp is basically used as a super bullet. Also a little bit humorous that the 2-player press start thing has been there for the entire game. It's been a while since I played this in co-op, but I don't think it gets any more difficult in co-op. So I guess it would be perfectly fine if someone popped in, unlike the X-Men arcade game where a lot more enemies spawn every time someone puts in an extra character. And you're like, what are you doing? I had this, and now it's just a complete mess. It just occurred to me that it has to be kinda hard to see with those sparkles in Captain America's face coming right off of Wasp. So that was it, we destroyed the giant laser. Yep, a single shield throw did it in. You figure it'd be a bit more tough than that, but it's not even as tough as those walls we've broken down before. The enemies in this level are capable of both the really quick jump kicks and the really long jump kicks that are easy to avoid. Simply moving up and down all the time is the solution to both of these. You may have only seen it once before, but it is possible to tackle enemies like I'm about to demonstrate. Right now. Just by double tapping and waiting a short period, and that's useful to clear out enemies that, you know, don't have lasers or grabby arms or jump kicks. Basically, it's not super handy. Just, you know, throwing our shield or using jump attacks is a much better solution than tackling enemies. Even our punches are better. Welcome to the boss fight against Controller, or, well, 2 of him for some reason. Anyway, his whole thing is supposed to be that he controls minds, and yet he got mind controlled by Red Skull. I also don't remember Controller having sweet grappling moves and drop kicks in the comics, but I could be mistaken. Anyway, how easy this boss is depends almost entirely on whether you can get the 2 to line up and be hit at the same time, because they do move independently. Oh yeah, and there are buzzsaws coming out of the floor, but there are 2 really easy places to avoid them that I keep switching between. And if you kill them at relatively the same time, then extra buzzsaws won't get a chance to spawn. But we were not terribly successful in that endeavor this time around. If we would have used a higher jump kick, then we probably would have turned out much better. But for some reason I was only interested in using low jump attacks that time, which cost us our first life, but that had to go sometime anyway. I think the way this fight goes is a decent indicator of why I like Captain America and the Avengers. You just have so much agility to work with. And if this game were more rigid like other traditional beat-em-ups, it wouldn't feel as loose or airy, and it wouldn't be as good. And that's at least part of the reason why the Super Nintendo version is really, really bad. So I said this level had plenty of mini-bosses for us, and right after this giant wall, which is very easily destroyed, we will come across our second mini-boss.
You can't go through!
Crossbones here is my favorite boss in the game, and the best strategy I found for him is to wait until he stops throwing his knives and then make him move up or down, so that way you can throw your shield ahead of time and he'll walk into it, like this. Now, if you're lucky, he'll just repeat this pattern for the whole fight, but if you're not, his AI has some pretty decent tricks up its sleeve, like that. He'll come to your side of the screen and leave a ton of mines behind him. The worst thing you can do when this happens is freak out. All of his attacks can be evaded by jumping, especially the mines, so there's no reason to freak out. Aside from the throwing knives, his uppercut, and his flip kick he does to get on your side of the screen, he also has a gun. And if you're trying to lure him onto your plane, he will inevitably use the gun against you unless you throw your shield ahead of time. If you wait until he stops, then he'll shoot you. So yeah, basically this works fine until he comes to your side of the screen, and when that happens, just jump like your life depended on it. Welcome to the final wave of enemies, which is actually not deceptively difficult. We did lose another life, but there's a reason we saved them all until we got here. I guess if this last wave of enemies has a distinction, it would be that there are a lot of grabby arm guys. And they're just enemies with laser guns, but less threatening. You can break out of their grip really fast by smashing the attack button, and they only deal 2 or 3 damage before you break out, sometimes not even 2 or 3. I want a free pass for that one because I was busy throwing my shield before he grabbed me. And now it's just these 2 chumps before the final boss.
You can't escape! Yes, it's another trap. You stupid men! Ha ha ha! We'll teach you the meaning of justice!
So after that beautiful dance with Red Skull, this happens. This guy has a lot of moves. He can shoot the ground with bullets. He can cause fire orbs to appear out of his chest. He can cause mini tornadoes to appear and grab you, which is my favorite move because it hurts the least. And if you're patient enough, it's really easy to avoid all of these just by staying back, and he's not a bad boss fight at all, but I just wanted to hit him. Sometimes when you already know you beat the whole game and you had to play it better than you ever did before, you just want a little catharsis, you just want to let loose.